The Oscars are right around the corner, and I'm sure you're all wondering, what is going to win Best Picture? Which ones should I watch? Is there anyone we should root against? Well, you have come to the right place because I'm here to rank every single Best Picture nominee for 2026. Let me tell you, in my humble opinion, there is definitely an Oscar villain this year. Will some of my opinions anger you? Of course. Will you agree with most of them? Well, I hope so. If not, will you be entertained? You're damn right. So buckle in, put your thinking cowboy hats on, and let's celebrate one of the best years for cinema in a long, long time. And as always, stay tuned for special surprise ranking at the end. Okay, let me start off by saying I do not hate any of this year's nominees. I think that this was an amazing year for filmmaking. We have so many creative, unique, and inventive projects from directors and actors with their own styles that just tickles my cinephile brain. From weird art house productions with Emma Stone geeking out again to heartfelt stories of love, grief, and reconciliation. In each of their own ways, these nominated pictures are special. Except for The Secret Agent. Why the f did this get nominated? Nope, it's not F1, ladies and gentlemen. I bet you thought I was gonna be cliche. Prepare yourselves, it only gets crazier from here. Also, there will be some spoilers here and there, but I will warn you when they are coming, don't worry. The Secret Agent. So much potential. So much wasted. If the point of this film was to get me to look at Brazil more favorably, I am sorry, you have failed. I'll tell you this, the score was great. I loved the music. It had me getting jiggy on the couch a few times, and I wanted to get up and start dancing, doing a salsa or something. Rex is not racist, let's get that out the way. But what the f goes on in Brazil? This film felt like at times it was trying to get me to celebrate Brazilian lifestyle and get the viewer to appreciate how much life that their culture actually has. But then they just shit on the entire country, showing us that it is a breeding ground for death. Whoa, man. I did not see that coming. But now onto the flaws of the actual film. The pacing is extremely slow, the story arc of the main character is bland, and way too straightforward for my liking. There are a lot of major unexplained plot holes and inconsistencies, and the climax was actually fun. Until they ended it in the most abrupt way possible and gave us a meaningless ending. I'm all for international nominees, especially when I was graced with Parasite back in 2019 and my discovery of Studio Ghibli as a teenager. Ghibli, let me know what it is. I can never say it right. But this shit was not it. And I'm changing my thoughts for the Mario Supreme video about Wagner Moura because I hadn't seen the film yet, but I heard he was good. What did he do in this film to get a nomination for actor in leading role? Get scared of death? Smile when he was getting some? I don't see it. The Secret Agent was nominated for casting, international film, actor in leading role, and best picture. And the only one I can actually see what the Academy saw is casting. I cannot fathom what this film was trying to communicate to me. I didn't get much of a message except to stay away from Brazil. All right, I'm not gonna yap about each film for this long, but I just need to get this off my chest. Spoiler time. 3, 2, 1. He's not a secret agent. Yeah. It takes so long to actually establish what is going on, who Wagner Moura actually is, creating suspense for some sort of big reveal on what he did. And surprise, he's not a secret agent. He's actually terrible at it. Like, I'm Armando. Oh boy, good for you. Like, what? We spent so much time making this guy seem as ambiguous as possible. Like he killed some people with a pencil just to find out a business owner wants him dead for patenting his work. Excitement gone. And by the way, we still don't know what went down for him to even go undercover. Like, you cannot convince me that the dinner scene was the reason that this dude wants Armando dead. Like, we are going from a business deal gone bad to taking a man's life. It was very unclear to me. Also, what the f happened to his wife? She just got sick and died off screen? That's bullshit. Also, oh gosh, I forgot about this. Why not hire another actor for his son Fernando? Come on. The fact that it was literally Wagner Moura in the end was so confusing. It took me 5 minutes to actually understand that it was actually his son and not him hiding out with a different name somewhere else. Like, if that's his son, just make that more clear instead of jumping from the literal climax of the film of that dude going on a killing spree and Armando needing his passports ASAP to the same actor at a hospital. That just confuses everyone. Okay, you can come at me in the comments Feel free to explain your interpretations. One of the reasons I started this channel was to connect with a community of people with similar passions for the art of filmmaking like me. So I will always encourage you all to come at me in the comments if you want. No other choice snub so hard. Ka-chow. Now, coming at number 9 is the film you probably thought was gonna be last, F1. Do not let your film snob brother fool you. That's me, I'm the film snob brother. This movie is better than you think. Fun, energetic, and full of exhilarating action. Also home to one of the best memes of the year. I really like how this film brings attention to the intricacies of building a team to a seemingly one-man sport. For an outsider like me, that's pretty cool. There's so much that goes into this car goes fast stuff. Who would have thought? The soundtrack was amazing with a mix of country Chris Stapleton and a new wave EDM / hip hop from Don Toliver and Tate McRae. I thought that it embodied the personality that is F1 racing while also reflecting its characters. Sonny is a do-it-for-fun, feel it out, go with the flow, rusty man. And Chris Stapleton's country song, As Bad As I Used to Be, complements that well. Joshua Pierce, the young hotshot egotistical social media crazed racer, is complemented well, showing his love for the eccentrics with Don Toliver and Tate McRae, symbolizing the way he drives, wild and flashy. And although the sound editing is not something that stood out for me, it's cool that I got an Oscar nomination for it. With all that said, is this a Best Picture worthy film? No. The romance was predictable and cheesy, dragging on for far too long. Sonny kind of just drifts through all the problems he goes through. The acting is Brad Pitt, just Brad Pitt. And it is a really classic and cliche sports movie. Underdog story, teammates must bond and come together to win. Evil bad guy tries to backstab them by cheating along the way, and good guy wins. Very straightforward. However, I will say, even though it isn't exactly changing the narrative, it does do it well. The racing scenes are intense, exciting, and fun. You can tell that most of their attention went to making the action as perfect as possible. And I'm glad they did so, because those were some of the most fun scenes of the year in my opinion. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I liked Sonny's true motivations. He isn't your classic hometown hero goody two-shoes character who will give it his all for glory. He does it for fun. What? Fun? They have that still? Yep. Brad Pitt does everything he does in this film because he loves racing. He loves being in that car. And I like that message. Not for money, not for fame. Do it for you. For fun. All right, F1. I see you. Definitely not as bad as everyone else is saying. Do not be fooled. Now, let me know in the comments who wins. Sonny Hayes or Lightning McQueen. I cannot wait for F2. Victor. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I was very visually appalled by this film. It's up for best cinematography and deservingly so. Dan Louston, the cinematographer for the film, who has done work on the John Wick movies and The Shape of Water, achieves a grand yet eerie look to the film using a 24mm lens. Another example of this is in The Social Network. This focal length helps create a wide-angle, deep-focus look without major distortion to anything else in the frame. It captures the detail of a character's face as well as the majority of their surroundings. This strategy is apparent in this film, and you truly feel immersed in the world of Frankenstein. You feel the grand, terrifying nature of playing God, creating something you should have never touched. Which leads me to my next point, the makeup of this film. Wow, how'd they do that? I want to touch Jacob Elordi more than ever now. Wait, hey, whoa. Every day that Elordi had to be Frankenstein, they spent 10 hours applying his makeup. Through that dedication and commitment, they blew it out the park. This is my favorite to win makeup and hairstyling. Smashing Machine was impressive. The Rock's ears and face transform him in a cool way. Sinners is amazing as usual. The vampires and aesthetic of that film is sensational. But how can we not celebrate the absolute spectacle that the design of Frankenstein is? It's beautiful. This doesn't only allow Jacob Elordi to be another person physically, but allows him to make me forget it's Jacob Elordi and be one of my favorites for Best Supporting Actor this year. And on top of that, I loved the sound. It usually takes me a few watches to pick up on audio manipulation in film, but as soon as I heard his roar and his voice bellowed through my chest, I was in love. Now, run. Okay, wow, that's a lot of glazing for number 8 on this list. Why is it number 8, you may ask? Well, to be honest, I didn't like the characters that much. I really wasn't expecting a daddy issue movie. Victor Frankenstein and the moral implications of his creation isn't explored as deeply as I wanted. He kind of takes a backseat for Frankenstein's story. And looking back on it, I'm okay with it because I love Jacob Elordi. but for a fully composed film, the arc of the main lead was not that compelling. Also, a quick minor spoiler. 3, 2, 1. At one point, someone tells Victor that he is the real monster. Like, way to hit it on the head, bro. My goodness. The film has a non-linear order of telling the story, and in my opinion, this weakens the final act because the ending feels inevitable. I feel like it would have been more impactful if the order of events were told differently. Overall, amazing sound editing, stunning cinematography, jaw-dropping makeup, but lackluster characters. Except for the captain, he had the best arc.
You like jazz?
Okay, let's have a dialogue about Begonia.
Don't call it dialogue. This isn't Death of a Salesman.
I usually have a problem with films that rely so much on the twist that decides if the film is good or not, but Begonia plays with that twist in an extremely unique way. The essence of the film isn't the actual twist, but if there actually is a twist or not. And that is so unique to me. And let me tell you, I could not tell for the life of me if Emma Stone was an alien. I could argue that Jesse Plemons was snubbed for Best Supporting Actor nomination, but looking back on it, he kind of just plays his weird self like he usually does.
Your hair has been destroyed to prevent you from contacting your shit.
And this role definitely needed a geeked out conspiracy theory whack job, and they got that in Jesse Plemons. However, I can see why they veered away from nominating him. Back to the film. I'm saying it now, and I'll say it again for years to come. Emma Stone is one of the best actors of this generation. The reason that the play on the twist works so well is solely because of Emma Stone. The way she flips from a definitive personality that she is not an alien to her playing with the idea of, okay, maybe I can get out of this if I pretended to be an alien, to then convincing me again that she is indeed an alien was incredible. Was she an alien? I'm not telling you that. Spoilers, bro. And another reason for that success, I would hand to the editing. All right, here we go, people. I'm going to be pronouncing his name a few times. Yorgos Lanthimos, known for his offbeat, wacky, yet dramatic science fiction films, such as Poor Things, Kinds of Kindness, and The Lobster, displays his beautifully up mind once again in Begonia. He's pushing a Greek weird wave, if I were to put a finger on it, and he has proven he is an extremely talented director who can make his audience ask themselves morally complex questions and think, what would I do in that situation?
That was really good. My pulse is racing right now.
But back to the editing, the reason I say the editing is fantastic is because, from my perspective, it seems like a lot of these moments with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons were filmed as if Yorgos told her to act if she knew she was an alien and if she knew she wasn't, but to play it off for survival. I compare it to that one American Psycho scene with Patrick Bateman and Willem Dafoe. Dafoe was filmed in 3 separate ways, as if he suspected Bateman, as if he had no clue of Bateman's guilt, and as if he was undecided of him. All of these were then spliced together in the final cut to make the viewer even more disillusioned and confused. I can honestly say that I wouldn't be surprised if Yorgos Lanthimos and Yorgos... Wow, that's a hard one to say. I'll put it on the screen. I wouldn't be surprised if the editor did the same style for Begonia. Also, almost forgot, the score is A tier. Jerskin Fendrix, wow, some of these names are cool. The composer was only given 3 words. Bees, basement, spaceship, cinema. He didn't even read the script. Wow. Overall, Emma Stone's presence is always a blessing. Yorgos Lanthimos is becoming an amazing up-and-coming director in Hollywood, and this is one of my new favorite drama sci-fi thrillers of the decade.
Yeah, come on, Lois. You know I have plans today to go see Pervert Hamlet.
Hamnet, an incredible story about love, loss, and how we overcome it. Powerful, touching, and heart-wrenching. I will never watch it again. It's a story that doesn't just tell you about itself. It lets you feel it. What do we do after our entire world feels like it has ended? How do we love if it only causes pain? Half of the story, actually the majority of the story, is told through Jessie Buckley's face. And she's the damn reason you come to see this movie. She blew it out the park. Her stages of grief, her pain, her justifications, all of it. She portrays the character of Agnes so beautifully. It is such an emotional journey. Not only does it hit those who have experienced grief, but those who can't even comprehend that amount of pain. I mean, you could see it in the faces of the theater. Also, the supporting performance from Paul Mescal, Oscar snub for sure. Positive masculinity 101. He never lashed out on his wife, no matter how many times she tells him to fuck off. That's love. That's kindness. That's being a man. I'll say it now and again. The ability that art has to reconcile relationships, bringing people together through anything, will always be my favorite part about creating. And yes, I got that from Jesse Buckley and Paul Mescal bawling their eyes out for 2 hours. Will Shakespeare struggles with telling his wife about his pain and how much his family means to him. He cannot put it in words, and it seems as if he is avoiding them. So, he decides to tell her how he feels the only way that he can, through art. Hamnet tells us that to love is to endure pain. Endure the arguments with loved ones. Endure the pain of loss. Endure the hardships of expectations, because you just might find a way to love stronger than you ever have before. And that is why Will created Hamlet, to show that he will never forget his son, Hamnet, and he will live on through generations beyond even me. I mean, we're still talking about it hundreds of years later. And that is also why he changed the name from Hamnet to Hamlet, so their son's name will always belong to them, not to the theatrics of a play, but to the family of the Shakespeares. However, I highly doubt the Riz back then was going up to a woman whose name you do not know and say, "Will you tell me your name if I kiss you?" after you compliment her bird. El Riz.
What the dog doing?
Alright, here comes the angry comments. I'll say it again, all of these nominees deserve to be here, except, yeah. And this was incredibly hard to rank because I loved all of these films, except, yeah. In my personal opinion, Train Dreams is a top 5 movie of the year. A visually stunning journey that unravels the mystery of time, love, and loss. Similar to Hamnet, actually. One thing that puts this film above Hamnet for me is the cinematography. Wow. My goodness, is this a beautiful movie. Heartwarming, heartbreaking, touching, and exquisite. It truly makes you think what a privilege and curse it is to feel. This movie speaks to you on a spiritual level that can only be felt through its raw and real cinematography. Best cinematography favorite? Damn right. It's crazy to me that this is a best cinematography nominee, and all it is doing is capturing nature. We truly need to go outside and explore more.
I'm going on an adventure!
My one problem, however, is that there are a lot of lens flares, and I could do without that if I'm being honest. Just nitpicking. But this film is almost 100% natural light. And for that reason, you feel connected to the circle of life like Robert does. From that first shot of the camera attached to the tree being chopped over, I was locked in. I hit the forward lean so fast. And by the end of it, I was ready to walk through the grass, feeling the blades on my bare feet, listening to the birds chirp, whispering stories as if they were coming straight from God's lips. Then I remembered I live in New England and there's 3 feet of snow outside. Robert, our main protagonist, goes through the entire movie working towards freedom and belonging with his family. He does so by working as a logger, often going on long journeys for extended periods of time. Eventually, he's at his breaking point and he cannot be away from his family any longer. And he vows to do one last trip to get enough money for his family to settle down. We then follow him the rest of the film trying to figure out what to do with his life. He faces grief, love, confusion, and also purpose. The film asks the grand question: why are we here? What is our purpose on this grand earth? Those are the questions that Robert asks himself, but he doesn't do so verbally. This film shows us these feelings through its intimate exploration of him trying to make peace, connecting with other people through quiet and deeply emotional conversations. This movie isn't loud, it doesn't boast about itself, and it doesn't demand any rewards. It just asks you to listen. Through its delicate imagery and humble pacing, it brings attention to the small, overlooked details that often shape life. A reflection on memory, time, and the hidden beauty of the mundane. That is magnificent to me. I also ask myself those same questions. What am I here for? Do I have a greater purpose? And this film answers and says, look around you. There is so much beauty around us, but we move so fast that we fail to stop and look. In a time where we are more disconnected from nature than ever, I think this is the perfect movie to release. You may learn more about yourself talking to trees than ever before.
Beautiful, ain't it?
That is why I love Train Dreams. So, if you haven't seen it yet, please give it a watch and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Nosferatu!
Haha, Jonathan, I'm going to get the most Oscar nominations of all time. Yes, it has the most nominations at the Oscars. And it f***ing better win some. But it won't win all. Or even most. One Battle After Another is still the favorite. But where One Battle lacked, Sinners excelled in visual effects, makeup, hairstyling, and original song. Categories that One Battle After Another didn't get nominated for. So, Sinners still does have a great chance to win multiple awards. Anyways, the movie. A mix of horror, action, music, and vampires all into one. Like, how is that possible? I also love this subgenre of horror movies finally taking time to build up the characters and plot so we actually give a shit what happens. Barbarian and Weapons are prime examples of this as well. Even though Barbarian is a different kind of movie.
Grimlock saved universe!
But speaking of characters, I love them all. Michael B. Jordan and Michael A. Jordan are an amazing duo. But seriously, Michael B. Jordan makes two distinguishable characters not just because of their clothing colors, but because of their personalities, their tone, their decision making, and their demeanors are all drastically different, to the point where I was totally able to see them as two different characters with no confusion whatsoever. I love Sammy. He just rocks the roof off that place. Cornbread is hilarious.
Being kind to one another.
And Remick the vampire is such a charming yet menacing villain.
Oh, we heard tale of a party.
And Haley Steinfeld too. I bet Josh Allen's proud of her. Oh. This is a movie I take a step back and say, yeah, this does deserve a casting nomination. Because hello, this cast is perfect for this film. Even Sammy just speaks to me for that role. A commanding voice, a soothing voice, yet the sporadic and curious nature of a teenager. Amazing work from Miles Caton, which brings me to the music. It is ethereal and immersive to the point where you understand why that vampire wants Sammy songs. Cause damn, Sammy be cooking on that resonator guitar. With all that music ridden vibe to it, it still succeeds as a horror film. I mean, it is labeled horror, but don't go in expecting an absurd amount of jump scares because you will be disappointed. But when they do pull it out, oh boy, do they do it well. The Flying Vampire, Sammy, Cornbread, all of them hit the spot. This movie commands your attention, and I promise you will never lose interest. Perfect pacing, exhilarating action, imaginative universe, absolutely fire songs. Sinners deserves those Oscar nominations. I really hope that they exceed my expectations and get more wins than I thought they would. You know what? As I'm saying this, I'm changing my Letterboxd review from 4 to 4.5. Fuck yeah, Sinners. Certified cinema. Get it? You see what I did there? Do you get?
I'm not gay, if that's what you're saying.
I didn't say that.
Let me sum up the movie for you.
You like black girls? I love them. I love them.
Oh yeah. Immediate 5 stars. 4.5. What a ride this movie is. Full of adventure, absurdity, and humor. For a plot that follows a character as ridiculous as Leonardo DiCaprio's Bob, it has the perfect tone.
Dad, what is wrong with you?
It isn't trying to say too much, but in doing so, they deliver some incredible laughs and face-bombing moments in the best way possible.
What time is it?
Fuck.
It's got a fantastic soundtrack with one of my favorite needle drops I've heard since the next movie on this list.
I also liked Steely Dan.
An amazing supporting cast with multiple Oscar noms and the most menacing walk I've ever seen in the history of cinema. Ranking best walks next? Anyways, I love this film. PTA shows the true range of his skills with his famous camera on the door shot, as well as his ability to make us laugh at the ridiculous nature of his characters, without taking away from any of the dramatic tension. I would say Leonardo DiCaprio gives the performance of a lifetime, but he just does that all the time now. His strength in this film resides in his ability to portray paranoia, confusion, and despair. However, he's good in this movie not for reasons that you would think.
What's your last name?
Batman.
He doesn't have long monologues. He doesn't command the screen for the entirety of the movie because he doesn't need to. He plays his character within its limits, the way they are written, making this film that much more appealing. The supporting cast of this film is incredible. Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Chase Infinity, and yes, Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor is a favorite to win Best Supporting Actress. But can I be honest for a sec? I don't think she had a performance that was that memorable. I think that Chase Infinity, what a name by the way, had a better performance. When I talk about commanding the screen, she is the example of that. Every scene, she captivated me. She had spirit, fire, strength, yet humor, and a fun childlike nature to her when she is talking to her dad or Colonel Lockjaw in that one scene.
Why is your shirt so tight?
I'm not gay, if that's what you're saying.
I didn't say that.
I'm not a homosexual.
I did not say that, but I see the lifts in your shoes.
Maybe it was because I didn't like Tiana Taylor's character that much. I mean, she's kind of just a rat. But Chase Infinity was the catch for me. But seriously, how many Best Supporting Actor nominations can a movie have? This movie has 3 Best Supporting Actor nominations, and another leading actor nom for Leo. Also, that one final car chase scene, holy shit, that was the scene of the year. Christmas Adventurers, loved it. So ridiculous, yet so fitting, and a major plot point for the film. No matter your political views, you have to admit, the few political topics that they had touched upon were extremely entertaining. Now, are you ready for my top 2 films of 2026? I guarantee you are not. 3, 2, 1!
I'm gonna do to Kletsky what Auschwitz couldn't.
Contrary to popular belief and previous biases, my number 2 film for the 2026 Best Picture is Marty Supreme. I love this film. It is exciting, it is fun, it has something to say, and it refuses to let go of its audience for the entire 2.5-hour runtime, which feels like 90 minutes. From the first scene, and I'm not just saying that, from the first scene, you know you're in for a banger. I mean, heck, this is the second time that I'm talking about this movie on this channel. So, not to sound repetitive, I will keep it short. Timothée Chalamet is a runaway for Best Actor this year, and there's no question why. His portrayal of Marty Moser is transformative, riveting, and flashy, with just the right amount of sensitivity. Josh Safdie gives him the platform to be able to display his acting greatness by putting him in almost every shot of the film. His screen time is 1 hour and 49 minutes. That's 73% of the film. And let me tell you, you do not get sick of him. You may get angry at his character Marty, but that's the beauty of it. You're supposed to hate him, and you feel so strongly about this that you forget it's even Timothée Chalamet acting. It's astonishing how dominant his performance is. And to add to that, his character, S tier, absolutely perfect. His motivations align with his actions, his personality supports his dialogue, and the destination he comes to feels absolutely right for an obsessive, narcissistic, egotistical maniac that Marty Moser is. And when I was talking about my favorite needle drops, yeah, this is it right here. I won't tell you what happens and when it happens, but you'll know. Josh Safdie, the director of this film, showcases his abilities to craft some of the most exciting train wreck stories of our time. And it seems he has finally figured it out in Marty Supreme. And yes, this film is supreme.
Well, like that, it's gonna cost a lot of money.
Of course it's custom. It's original ball for an original guy. It's the Marty Supremo, not the Marty normal ball.
What a movie, what a ride, and what a performance. If you want to see me talk more about what makes this movie great, check out my previous video on the channel. Okay, now, what movie could possibly dethrone the ultimate product of Hitler's defeat?
It's all right. I'm Jewish. I could say that.
No one has as much swag as Marty does, right? You are exactly right. This film doesn't need to shout to be heard. While movies like One Battle After Another rely on external pyrotechnics, this film finds its stakes in the internal. It is a masterclass of the small moment, choosing to explore the delicate threads that bind us together or fray us at the edges. It understands that the real drama of life isn't found in battle, but in the messy, beautiful reality of being a family. That's right. Come at me. I will defend this movie until my last breath. Sentimental Value is one of the most compassionate and intimate studies of the real trials and tribulations of being a family. It's not those trips to Disney World that make you a family, or how many times you see each other. It's communicating your love for one another in your own unique ways. What truly sets Sentimental Value apart is its uncanny ability to find the cinematic in the quietest corners of the human experience, proving that a hushed conversation or a lingering glance can carry more weight than the loudest explosion. Just absolutely stunning on all ends. Shit, I'm gonna cry about this again, so please bear with me. Yes, this movie made me cry, whatever. Acting, cinematography, characters, plot, emotional damage, everything. I'm gonna read you the IMDb tagline and tell me if this sounds good. Tell me if it's worth your time. An intimate exploration of family, memories, and the reconciliatory power of art. Need I say more? Like I said earlier for Hamnet, the ability that art has to bring people together in the most miraculous ways is truly a miracle. And that is what Gustav Skarsgård does in this film. It's amazing how much we have to say to each other and how just a few words can fix everything. But the reality is that saying those words is one of the hardest things to do. So, like Hamnet, Gustav does what he does best, create. This is one of the reasons that I started creating, to bring people together over a piece of art that's gotten me through some extremely tough times in my life. Movies. And yeah, it's fun to poke at a lot of the films I break down, but I also love to celebrate them. I love to talk about what they do for me on an emotional and spiritual level. What do they teach me about myself? What do they inspire me to do? That is why I am so passionate about analyzing films. And Sentimental Value has done it again for me. It shows how difficult it is to communicate with your family sometimes, and how you have so many things you want to say to them, so many ways to say I love you, but you just can't get the words out. That is where art comes in, and that is why we need to celebrate films like this, because they teach us something about ourselves. They teach us something about our lives, and they teach us to be creators as God intended us to be. We were put on this earth to create, whether it's writing, filming, editing, handcrafting, coaching, weaving, singing, whatever it is. Go out there and create something that is special to you, because you have no idea how special it could be to someone else.
Hi, Papa.
Hi.
That is Sentimental Value. And my favorite character wasn't even a person. It was a house. Confirmed Cinerex classic. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video made you want to watch some of these amazing films this year, because let me tell you, it was totally worth it for me. Like, comment, subscribe after the surprise ranking, of course. Boom! You must be wondering, Rex, under what criteria could you possibly rank these incredibly diverse films? Well, let me tell you, buckaroo. You remember I expressed my love for nature and train dreams? Well, we are ranking every Best Picture nominee by their use of animals.
Huh?
That's right. Let's jump straight into it for a speed ranking. 3, 2, 1. Coming in dead last is one battle after another. There really aren't any animals of note in this film. Just a few shots of goats, a horse, and a dog. All that have no significance to the plot whatsoever. Nothing else to say.
Shut up, you f***ing nut!
Gotta up your game, Paul Thomas Anderson. Does he not know we are criticizing films on animal use now? Come on. Keep up, bro. Next, with the biggest drop-off in the previous ranking is Sentimental Value. There is 1 bee and 1 horse in this movie. That's it. However, the horse actually progressed a scene in a way, so I can't put it in last. It took Rich away in a carriage on the beach just to kind of progress the story along. So, not bad, but actually, yes, still very bad. More animals, come on. Coming in at number 8 is F1. Now, you might be racking your mind for animals used in this film right now because it's a racing movie. How can there be any animals? Well, let me educate you. The famous F1 bulldog named Roscoe makes a cameo in F1. Bet you didn't know that, huh? I don't miss. Next on the list is Sinners, and we've got our first triple animal feature on the list. We've got horses pulling carriages, a rattlesnake that pops out and almost bites the twins, and finally, vampires. Okay, no, not actually, but the rattlesnake almost ends the story for Stack and Smoke, so I had to give it some significance there over F1. Vampire, maybe? Whatever. Sitting on the same spot as the original list is Hamnet. Hamnet has a beautiful close-up feature to start the story with Agnes' Harris hawk named Holly in real life. Say that 3 times fast. This animal serves as more of a symbolic gesture on welcoming those who join her in the afterlife. And kind of like that because my mom's favorite animal is a hawk, and she always thinks of her brother when she sees one. So hell yeah, Hamnet, I like it. Also, there are sheep and horses and bees in this, so pretty good lineup. Just don't serve too much of a purpose to the story. Begonia. Bees, Bold, Battlestar Galactica. Need I say more? Also aliens, so I kinda count that as animals. Pretty big plot point for the film, if I do say so myself. At number 4, we've got Frankenstein. This film uses sheep, wolves, and elk that Frankenstein interacts with all. And the wolves and sheep actually serve as a major incident that helps him understand more about the circle of life and what it means to be alive. So, big character development points that the animals had in this film. Also, is Frankenstein an animal before he learned how to talk? Wait, aren't we all animals? With the biggest jump out of all the films, the secret agent goes from worst to third, a lot like the New England Patriots this year. The secret agent actually uses a shark to be a main driving plot point. The shark swallows a human leg, and an autopsy actually gets the leg out. It serves as a major investigative piece for the case. Also, I won't say what purpose this one has to not spoil the film for anyone. There is also a cow or horse leg. I can't tell which one it is. Also, Toothpaste Cat, hello. Train Dreams is not number 1. Can you believe that? Incorporating nature and life as its major driving factor for its mise-en-scène, Train Dreams uses a lot of imagery and sounds of animals such as dogs, wolves, birds, horses, a two-headed calf, fish, and my favorite, a giant black bear. The dogs serve as a major emotional healing benefactor for Robert, helping drive the plot along. And the animals around him in the story all serve their own role in making the production of the film that much more immersive and full of life. However, besides the dogs and horses that die, none of them really drive the plot in a way that number 1 does. You know I had to give this movie number 1 for something. The dog from Mario Supreme probably holds the most importance an animal has ever held to a film. Besides the dog from The Mask, Milo's an absolute G. I totally thought the dog was a throwaway gag that Josh Safdie threw in there just to make us more stressed out for no reason. But when I tell you that it all connects in the most unpredictable way imaginable, I am telling the truth. And I'm not going to spoil any more about the dog. Would you like me to list off the other animals featured? Seals playing ping pong, giant pig, bees, talks of getting physical like an ape. Do I need to say more? Mario Supreme takes the crown for best use of animals in a feature film for 2026. Congratulations, Marty. You did it, you son of a... Well, there's the list. Thank you all for sticking until the end. If you made it this far, comment your favorite animal featured in cinema this year. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. It really helps if you do. I love you all, and go be creators. Peace!